Hi there, this is Donna from Love Consciousness. Today I wanted to do a little reflection on something that has been entering my awareness for a good few months now. And it may be something that you have noticed, it may be something that you're beginning to feel into. And, like all of my recordings, these are just my personal experience. I am not saying anything is right or wrong. We're all on our own journeys here. We're all navigating things in our own way. And wherever you're at on that journey, that's absolutely, perfect for you. But from where I'm sat, this is about growing in awareness. This is about um, beginning to become more aware, perhaps, of the aspects of us that we haven't noticed before, the aspects of us that have been hidden. And there's lots of conditioning and programming and emotion and traumas and everything to work through when you step onto this journey of becoming more aware, of growing in awareness. And the thing I want to reflect on today is what has been called spiritual bypassing. Now, the way that I have observed this is there are so many layers and there are so many levels to spiritual bypassing. So even if you are someone like myself that has come to a level of awareness that you can look round and see when certain people may be bypassing spiritually, that does not mean to say that I am not in any shape or form bypassing, because of course I'm still growing in awareness. I'm still learning um, how to navigate this experience as much as anyone else. But I wanted to just point out what I feel is some of the obvious um, things that I have seen when it comes to spiritual bypassing. So I guess I'll start with the most obvious one. There may be individuals within certain spiritual communities that promote, love and light. Let's just stay in the positive. Let's just focus on love and light. And, that's what it's all about. And we're going to sit there in love and light. And in many ways, they might be able to maintain that kind of frequency, if you like, that vibration of love and light. But perhaps they have found a method. Perhaps they have found a method that works really, really well to allow them to just stay in those higher vibrations and perhaps bypass or ignore or deny or not acknowledge the emotions that we might label as negative emotions. And, this is problematic in my opinion and in my experience because we are human beings and I believe that we are here to experience the full range of emotions. And I also feel that a massive part of this journey and becoming more aware is to recognize, to feel, and to release almost like a backlog, if you like, of things that we have repressed. And we may have a backlog. I don't even think my personal experience shows me that I have a backlog of more than just this life to work through and release. And I've done it. I went into I'm going to focus on love many years ago. And my realization now is if I do not allow myself to feel, acknowledge, and experience something that I may not see or perceive as love, then I'm not going to allow myself to release this energy. So what I see is a lot of individuals that have been focusing on this love and light path for many, many years, and perhaps encouraging others to do the same, and perhaps they've got methods and teachings, and perhaps they have, all of these philosophies that look really, really great, and, do allow us to be in this higher vibrational state most of the time. But actually, we are not being able to integrate what we would call the unconscious aspects of ourselves. We're not able to integrate the shadow aspects of ourselves if we cannot open up to the entirety of what we are as human beings. The entirety of the range of emotions and the range of energies and frequencies that we are here to experience. And so what it really does, in my opinion, is that it prevents the individual that's walking around in a state of love and light, if you like, from really coming into full awareness, from really growing in full awareness to all of them, the full spectrum of what they are, and life on earth is dual, it's polarity. It's a combination of dark and light. That's what creation is made up of. And in order to really fully come into our full creative abilities, I feel that the more awareness we have and the more we can allow ourselves to feel both the light and the dark, the more powerful we can become as human creators. And so that's kind of like a real obvious, obvious level of spiritual bypassing. There are some other ideas, that I feel are confusing or misleading, that are very common spiritual ideas, spiritual disciplines, if you like. And that may be this idea of like clearing your mind of all thoughts and just being in the moment, And there is definitely, again, from my perspective, there is truth in that, we have the ability to navigate through life using our feeling sense, and so we don't need to be bombarded with lots and lots of thoughts in our mind. And isn't it amazing to just be? But also, the thing that I have become aware of is that this can also be a consciousness trap. So ideas like this, so a consciousness trap in the sense of that you just kind of become so complacent in your beingness that, again, your potential as a creator may pass you by. You may fall into the idea that you don't have to do anything. Just be peace, just be calm, just be thoughtless, and you're not tapping into all of your creative abilities because you've found a place of such comfort in this just being. And I liken this to, for example, just taking the spiritual path where you just move to the mountains, move away out of society, and perhaps like live in a monastery and spend all your days meditating, and you're not integrated in society. Yes, you may be discovering what lies behind the veil, You may be astro traveling, through consciousness and discovering so much hidden aspects of yourself and the universe and the cosmos. But are you going to bring that back? Are you going to find a way to be the bridge and creatively share that knowledge that you have discovered? And for that, you need to step out of this idea of just being in the moment and not doing anything. Again, this is just my opinion. This is something that has been coming to me recently. And there are many kind of spiritual disciplines that when I really look at them, they don't make sense to me. Because I believe that we're here right now at this time as human beings to consciously wake up to our full potentials as creators. And of course, if you're a creator, you're here to create something. You're not here necessarily to sit on the top of a mountain and meditate for 8 hours a day. And there's nothing wrong with that. And we all need that time and that space and that period perhaps in our life where we allow ourselves to really go inside, where we allow ourselves to fully discover who and what we are, why we're here, perhaps what our purpose is. And then when we discover that, we then bring that back into our human experience, integrate that back in to the world, share our wisdom and our knowledge of what we have discovered with others in whatever creative way feels right to us. So I'm sharing these reflections because I feel that for me, when I'm moving through these levels of becoming more aware, I feel that it's helpful for me to share my discoveries, not because I feel that my way is the right way or that everyone will resonate with what I'm saying, but it's just bringing ideas and perceptions to you to allow you to begin to feel into those areas perhaps and see where you sit with the ideas and the challenges and everything else that comes with that. So in summary, I feel like we are here to be human. I spent a lot of my life, and that's because my body held such deep traumas. I spent a lot of my life trying to get out of my body, daydreaming, head in the clouds. And then, of course, when I found spiritual practices, I could meditate and I could really leave, this world behind in a lot of ways. I could escape. It was like a form of escapism. And I thought that was the way it was. I thought that was the aim of the game. To go inside and discover and I didn't have to be connected to this. And that was my way of feeling better. Until I realised that it was actually just another form of distraction, to a certain extent. And so, although I highly, highly, highly feel, for me personally, it's so important for me to know how to go inside and connect deeply to myself, my soul, my essence, my beingness, and to know what that is. I also feel it's equally as important for me to participate in life as a humble, raw, real human being that moves through the full range of experiences and emotions. And I allow myself to feel into all of them, lean into all of them. I don't avoid any of them. You know, when a volcano wants to erupt, it's going to erupt, and that's nature, that's natural. And we are part of the earth. And so we will experience all of these things. And it's not about avoiding the experience or avoiding the emotion or avoiding the difficult situation or the challenge. It's about finding ways in which to navigate it so that we don't get stuck in them. And as I mentioned at the start of this recording, it's like we do have a challenge, we do have a task because we have a backlog. If we were moving through life in the moment and we had learnt the skill from an early age of acknowledging our feelings and expressing our feelings and allowing energies to run through us in the moment, we wouldn't have a backlog to release. And you know, that's why I feel that this part of the journey, if you like, is challenging at times. But once we get to a point where we can release that backlog, you know, and I have no idea if we can even do that in this life, but if we could release a lot of this backlog that we've been carrying around, we can then move into that space where we can begin to feel energy. We can begin to feel all forms of energy without attaching to it, without repressing it, without finding a little box to put it in so that we then have to deal with it later on. So I just wanted to make this, I think this is a topic that I could talk about for hours, but these reflections are designed to be short. So it's just giving you a little kind of insight, I guess, and something that perhaps you can feel into. And are you embracing all of your human experience? Or is there a little bit of bypassing going on? Are you allowing yourself to feel the full range of emotions? Or has an aspect of you at some point in time decided that that emotion wasn't appropriate? Or that that emotion felt too negative, or whatever label you gave it, and that you don't want to feel that? And it can be hard to feel those big emotions when you have avoided feeling them. It can be hard. But from my own experience, the more you allow yourself to just lean in, the more you allow yourself to find the comfortableness within what we perceived to be uncomfortable, we stop labelling energies as good or bad. They're just different forms of the same thing. So thank you for listening. I'm probably going to do a podcast on spiritual bypassing because I feel it's so important, so important for individuals all over, particularly those on the spiritual path, because they're perhaps already halfway there. And, you know, there's no judgment, it's no one's fault. It's just ideas and beliefs and conditioning and programming that we've been exposed to, and we've all fell into consciousness traps. And it's just time to kind of get the message out, I feel, to move beyond those traps. And that means being human, and being a whole human means not denying any of it. So thank you. I will catch up with you soon, and whatever you're doing and whatever you are, have a beautiful day. Bye. Bye bye for now.